Tonight on UCentral News, will class be permanently dismissed? President Trump signed an executive order to abolish the Department of Education. What that means and why next. Sunny days ahead, but pollen levels are high. Carly Torbett will have all the details in her full look at weather. And Snow White premiered last week. Riley Townsend updates us on the hot new live-action film and so much more. March Madness is finally here. Ian Nickel has all of the details from the big tournament next. All of that and more happening right now.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Zach Sexton.
And I'm Jeremy Ramirez. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
The Student Programming Board kicked off iHeart Central Week today by handing out free t-shirts at the Blue Tent to anyone who donated clothing. The organization will be hosting a number of Wizard of Oz themes throughout the rest of the week, including handing out free lion, tiger, and bear plushies at the Clock Tower tomorrow from 12 to 2 p.m. There will also be a double feature showing off The Wizard of Oz and Wicked tomorrow at Plunkett Park from 7 to 11 p.m. Students can be instructed in goat yoga from 12 to 2 p.m. on Wednesday on Buddy's Lawn. And Galinda's Big Pink Volleyball Tournament will occur in the Wellness Center from 4 to 6 p.m. on Wednesday as well. Thursday, Oklahoma City artist CJ the Troll will be instructing students on drag makeup and drag history. Makeup will be provided, but students can bring their own if they wish. A silent disco will be held Thursday evening from 7 to 10 p.m. There are even more events planned, so keep an eye on the SPB's Instagram for more.
For the next 2 weeks, the university entrance and exit at Main and Bowman will be closed due to road work. The entrances at Main and Hurd, as well as Garland, Godfrey, and 2nd Street will remain open. More information is available at UCO Facilities Management.
Carly Torbett will have our first look at weather.
Thank you, Zach, and good afternoon, Broncos. Beautiful day to be back on campus after spring break. 76 degrees outside, mostly sunny. A little bit of wind coming in from the southwest with that 14 miles an hour with those gusts getting up to 20. So a very big difference in what we were seeing over the break. Humidity is a little bit on the lower side today at 15%, and that UV is up to 4. This close to 430. We're seeing that more and more as we're seeing the sun more after that time change. Looking at the allergy index, I don't know if you feel it, I feel it too. Grass and tree pollens are way up there with that wind coming through, sweeping all those pollens around. Ragweed's a little bit on our radar, but not much, so that grass and tree is what's given us the most problems today. And then looking ahead, we are going to be seeing those highs in the low 80s this week and a couple of highs in the higher 70s as well. We do have a couple of possible scattered showers and thunderstorms on Friday, and then a possible severe weather threat and low tornado threats on Saturday. But these threats are very low, and we will keep an eye on them throughout this week. And that is all I have for you now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Carly. The Trump administration wants the Supreme Court to put a hold on a ruling reinstating thousands of fired probationary federal employees. The emergency appeal comes after a federal judge in San Francisco issued a preliminary injunction earlier this month. It required half a dozen federal agencies to immediately offer over 16,000 probationary employees their jobs back. The firings were part of the government's effort to quickly downsize its workforce. The administration's request to the Supreme Court comes as the Federal Appeals Court considers a similar emergency appeal from the administration. That appeal was filed on March 14th.
President Donald Trump on Thursday, March 20th, signed an executive order to begin the process of dismantling the Department of Education. While entirely shuttering the department requires an act of Congress, which created the agency in 1979, the president has directed the Education Secretary to take steps toward its closure. President Trump stated, "We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs," leaving millions of teachers, families, and students concerned about the potential loss of critical services for classrooms.
President Donald Trump has issued a proclamation invoking the Alien Enemies Act, an 18th century law previously used when the U.S. was at war. The law has been invoked 3 times before, most recently as a justification for some internments during World War II. Ivan Rodriguez joins us and reports on how the president is using the law now.
The Trump administration is using a sweeping wartime authority to quickly deport some migrants whom the U.S. has accused of being affiliated with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Professor David Super says there are specific instances when the Alien Enemies Act can be legally invoked.
The Alien Enemies Act says that when the United States is in a declared war with another country, that the president may order nationals of that country removed from this country.
President Trump's proclamation states that Tren de Aragua, which his administration designated as a foreign terrorist organization, is, quote, perpetrating, attempting, and threatening an invasion or predatory incursion against the territory of the United States. Also, that this is occurring directly and at the direction, clandestine or otherwise, of the Maduro regime in Venezuela. But this argument is being challenged.
We're not at war with Venezuela. We haven't declared war on them. They haven't declared war on us.
Trump has said he wants to use the Alien Enemies Act because he believes it gives him tremendous authority, mainly because detentions and deportations under the law do not need to go through immigration courts.
They simply round people up, put them on a plane, and send them to El Salvador to be locked away, perhaps forever, without giving them a hearing.
Some families are insisting their loved ones are not members of Tren de Aragua and should have never been deported. For now, the legal battle continues over use of this wartime law.
The weather has given us a perfect first day back on campus.
Find out if sun is here to stay. Carly Torbett will have your full look at weather when we come back.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling, to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Good afternoon, Broncos, and welcome back to UCentral. Looking at those current conditions, 76 degrees outside, beautiful weather, very sunny. A little bit of wind coming in from the southwest at 14 miles an hour with those gusts up to 20. Humidity's on the low side today with that 15%, and that UV is up to 4, which is pretty moderate, but still very high up there. Looking at those current conditions across the state, OKC Metro, 76 degrees. Tulsa, 77. Miami up in the corner of the state with 73. Guyman in the Panhandle, 79. And our high spots are going to be Ponca City and Altus with 80 degrees. Going into tonight, 50 degrees, partly cloudy. That wind's going to die down a little bit to 9 miles an hour, and that humidity is going to rise up to 41% with that 0% chance of rain this evening. And then tonight across the state, everybody's in the more 50s, high 40s. OKC Metro 51, Lawton 49. Low spot this evening, Guyman and the Panhandle with 43. And then Ponca City with 50 and Tulsa 51. Highs for tomorrow, we're looking at low 80s, high 70s. Tulsa and Enid both at 80. 82 in the OKC metro area, 86 in Lawton, and then our hot spot is going to be Ardmore over here with 88 degrees as the high for tomorrow. And then looking at that daily forecast for tomorrow, 7 in the morning when we're getting up, getting ready for work, going to be clear outside, have a little bit of wind coming in from the southwest. So very light wind, clear, 51 degrees. So a good way to start our morning. Around lunchtime, that sun's going to come out. That UV is going to go up, so wear sun protection if we're just hanging out in the sun. At 5 with a moderate, and then 73 degrees. Around 7 o'clock, it's still going to be sunny until that sun starts to set around 7:45, but still a very nice evening with 76 degrees outside. And then looking at that 7-day forecast, Tuesday, tomorrow, like I said, 82 if for the high, with a low in the evening at 54 degrees. Wednesday, Thursday, going back and forth from those 70s to those low 80s. Wednesday, 76, Thursday, 81. Friday and Saturday, we are going to be expecting to see maybe a low chance of scattered showers and then maybe a few thunderstorms. But like I said, we will keep an eye on that for you guys throughout the week. But the high for Saturday is going to be 83 with that low of a 50. Sunday, Monday, going to cool back down into the 60s. So high for Sunday is going to be 60. And then Monday, our high is going to be 62. We did have beautiful weather today. Zach, Jeremy, we had a lot better weather than we expected over spring break. Did you get to go out and enjoy it?
I had an amazing spring break. I got to take a trip to Lake Eufaula with my girlfriend, enjoyed a lot of sun, a little bit of wind. What about you, Carly?
I actually got to get my sister-in-law married this weekend. It was a beautiful ceremony. The weather was perfect. It was outdoors. Absolutely loved it. How about you, Jeremy?
Carly, I got to go on a few of those runs that I was talking about before the break. It was like perfect weather for that, so I loved it. But thank you, Carly. Coming up, find out what couple released new music.
And how Disney's new Snow White did in theaters. Riley Townsend will have your full update after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Good afternoon, Broncos. I'm Riley Townsend here with your Central Social Media Breakdown. Bella Ramsey is sharing their autism diagnosis. The Last of Us star shared an interview with British Vogue. Ramsey, who uses they/them pronouns and has spoken about neurodivergency before, but very minimally, saying they always had a reason they didn't want to. Ramsey received the diagnosis while filming season 1 of The Last of Us. Ramsey sought out a psychiatric assessment after a crew member with an autistic child had assumed Ramsey had autism as well. In the interview, they discussed how the diagnosis was freeing and helped them give themselves more grace when it came to everyday tasks. Ramsey says there is no reason for people not to know. Ramsey stars in The Last of Us with Pedro Pascal, the show based on the video game bearing the same name. Season 2 of The Last of Us is set to air in April. Snow White, the new live-action remake by Disney, was released this past week, and viewers have thoughts. The new film, starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the Evil Queen, doesn't stray too far from the original plot. However, in the live-action version, instead of the prince and the dwarf saving Snow White, she defeats the Evil Queen herself. Snow White opened at $45 million, while other Disney live-action remakes, like Maleficent, opened at $69 million, and The Little Mermaid, which opened at $95.5 million. The film has a 44% from critics on the Rotten Tomato, and fans seem to be divided, with some sharing their love for the new updated music and plotline, while others criticize the actors' performances and casting choices. Country legend Dolly Parton joined forces with Sabrina Carpenter to collaborate on Carpenter's hit Please, Please, Please. However, Parton said she had one major condition. Parton said she told Carpenter, "Now I don't cuss, I don't make fun of Jesus, I don't talk bad about God, and I don't say dirty words on camera, but I'm known to if I get mad enough." Explicit words were taken out so that Parton could sing comfortably, and her conditions were followed. The collaboration released in the deluxe version of Short and Sweet album on February 14th, along with a black and white music video of the two singing together in an old truck. Parton said that Carpenter was so sweet to work with. Selena Gomez has released a new album in collaboration with her producer-fiancé, Benny Blanco, and surprised fans. Her new album, titled I Said I Love You First, released on March 21st. Gomez announced on an Instagram post that the album was a celebration of their relationship, with songs representing the past, present, and future. The album has already gained a major fan in singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. She posted the album on her story with much enthusiasm and tagged Selena and Blanco in the post. This is Swift's first post on Instagram since December 8th, when she posted at the conclusion of her Eras tour. The two stars have been friends since 2008, when they both dated Jonas Brothers. They have remained friends since and continue to support each other's careers. Jeremy, Zach, did you get a chance to listen to Selena's new album over the break?
Riley, I have not yet, but I'm a huge fan of her, and I'm also of Taylor Swift, so if she got that seal of approval from Taylor Swift, I am going to have to check it out. What about you, Riley?
I did get the chance to listen to the first couple of songs in the album, and I'm excited to listen to the rest. How about you, Zach?
I've loved Selena Gomez since she's been on The Wizard of Waverly Place, and I think her new album's amazing. Thank you, Riley. Coming up, the OKC Thunder remain on fire.
And which Broncos pitcher threw a perfect game? Ian Nickel has that story and more after the break.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet, 100 feet, the length of a football field?
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ian Nickel, and today we're breaking out the brooms. We'll start off with Broncos softball, who had a tremendous weekend. After defeating 6th-ranked Rogers State in Game 1, the Hillcats struck first in Game 2, but Kennedy Clark struck back with a 2-run Jimmy Jack into left field to take the lead and never look back, sweeping number 6 Rogers State with a 3-2 victory. The following day, another in-state rival came in, Northeastern State. They came to play and were handed 2 big L's, with the Broncos winning 11-3 and 8-0. And in that second game, pitcher Taryn Ritz would pitch a perfect game, just the 8th in school history. And here's what she had to say, as well as her head coach, Cody White, after that. Showing Kennedy Clark's home run right here. And here's more of Taryn Ritz's pitching. And she struck out 4 batters while not allowing a single hit. And again, the 8th in school history. Impressive stuff from her. It was a big-time performance from Ritz.
I kind of realized it in the 6th inning when we were about to score, and I was like, I don't think anybody's gotten on this whole time, but I tried to keep myself calm because I was about to hit, and then when Kennedy got that hit, I just threw my bat down because I knew we were going to win.
Well, that's what we talked about as a coaching staff. You know, it's rare to even see 1 perfect game, but to have 2 perfect games, that's extremely rare. And so, like I said, our pitching staff is really good. Coach Dixon has done a great job getting them prepared for every team that we see. And I felt like Ritz was a little bit more on today than she was yesterday. Her changeup was there, and I think that the results yielded that.
The Cho's headed to Durant tomorrow to battle Southeastern Oklahoma State in a doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. And across the street, UCO Baseball also had an eventful weekend in their sweep at Wendell Simmons Field over the Missouri Southern Lions. After winning on Friday 8-5, the Lions roared back, scoring 11 runs in 8 innings. But the Broncos charged back, scoring 9 runs in the 8th inning alone to take a 14-11 lead and needing just 3 outs to secure a much-needed series win. Valek Cisneros enters the game and gives up a run but retires the side to secure his 26th career save with the Broncos, a new MIAA record. Here's what he had to say afterwards, after Sunday's game in the victory against Missouri Southern. In just a minute here. Here's the strikeout once again. Got the job done. That's save number 26 for him on his career.
I want to be in that position if it wasn't for my team. I just go out there to do my job, and I'm thankful for a team that competes like they do to put me in that position.
Central has a midweek game against Northeastern State this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Over to the hardwood now. While we were gone for the week, the Oklahoma City Thunder clinched the Northwest Division and the #1 seed in the Western Conference, and their winning streak continues despite Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren being out due to hip injuries. Nevertheless, SGA and the Thunder Buddies got the job done in the City of Angels against the Clippers, 103-101, improving their record to 59-12. OKC will look to get win number 60 tomorrow night against Sacramento. And finally, March Madness is here, and over the weekend, the field went from 68 to 16 with some great games along the way. And here are some of the highlights. Here's some of the best of the second round here. John Calipari versus Rick Pitino. St. John's versus Arkansas. And the Razorbacks got the better end of this one, upsetting the 2-seeded Johnnies 75-66. And the Hogs will play 3-seed Texas Tech on Thursday. Then the Cougars of BYU were shooting from Jimmer Fredette range on Saturday, upsetting the 3-seeded Wisconsin Badgers in a 91-89 barn burner. And those Cougars will play Alabama in the Sweet 16. And then arguably the game of the tournament thus far, Colorado State versus Maryland. Colorado State's Jalen Lake heaves up a 3 there and sinks it, securing the lead. But Maryland says not today, as the freshman Derek Queen puts the dagger in Colorado State with this mid-range shot. And the Terps advance to the Sweet 16 to face Florida. It's been a heck of a tournament, and Jeremy and Zach, after the first 2 rounds of March Madness, my bracket looks okay, not great, but also not horrible. What about you two?
I have Duke beating Florida for the Natty. What about you, Ian?
It's a popular pick, Duke is. I'm going with Houston. I have Houston beating Florida. All 4 of my Final Four teams are still in. I'm happy about that. But Jeremy, what about you? What does your bracket look like?
Ian, I'm going to have to agree with Zach there, but I'll be honest with you guys. I know there's lots of parties and get-togethers that go on during March Madness, so I'm really the most excited about that. Thank you, Ian. Coming up, spring is here, and cleaning can be good for your mental health.
And Carly Torbett will have our last look at weather after the break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Expanding horizons, making room for the new. The modern frontier is ready for you. There's more to discover, more fun to be found. Our city is rising, just look around. Attractions, adventures, excitement and thrills. Rooms of beauty and history where knowledge is filled. A convergence of cultures in spectacular places. Open skies, open minds, and wide open spaces. The modern frontier awaits you to embrace it.
It's officially spring and the time of year when many people decide to tidy up or maybe declutter their homes. But experts say it's the season of new beginnings and growth can also give your brain a boost. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to a psychologist about ways spring cleaning can help your mental health and how to avoid procrastination to get the job done.
Winter, it's time to welcome a new season. Spring has finally sprung, and if you're thinking of cleaning out your home, it may also help your health.
When we engage in some sort of spring cleaning, it helps us kind of declutter not only our environment, but it can also help us declutter our minds.
Psychologist Adam Borland with Cleveland Clinic says spring cleaning can give our brains a boost, helping us to manage stress, elevate our mood, and provide a sense of accomplishment, which can all go a long way to helping mental health.
Spring cleaning can help us improve our focus. It can help with energy in terms of finding small activities in order to engage with and then seeing those through to completion. If we enlist the help of others, there can certainly be a social dynamic as well.
But Borland says a key to decluttering your home and mind is not tackling too much at one time. He says to set small goals and get the easiest item on your list done first. If procrastination is stopping you, take advantage of good days when you have more energy. Once you start, it'll be easier to get through it. And make it a team effort. Enlisting others can help get the job done. Finally, focus on the happiness a cleaner home will bring.
It's really an opportunity to kind of get out of that hibernation mode. Cleaning up the house can feel like a sense of rejuvenation and kind of restarting, which can be a wonderful feeling, especially after the long months of winter.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you struggle with procrastination or tackling day-to-day tasks like cleaning, Cleveland Clinic psychologists recommend reaching out to a mental health professional who can help. And now we're going to send it over to Carly for our last look at weather.
Thank you, Jeremy. Looking at the hourly forecast, we're about to that 5 o'clock mark. Super sunny outside, 78 degrees outside. As we get more into towards 7 o'clock, that sunset's going to hit about 7:45. 74 degrees, it's going to be clear outside. Still going to be a very nice evening to go out and enjoy. Go out and get dinner and have a good evening. That's all I have for you this evening. Back to you guys at the desk.
Broncos, that's all the time we have for today. My name is Zachary Sexton.
And I'm Jeremy Ramirez. Have a good night.